All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we are back with another season of Invincible. We're on season 3, and they dropped episode 1, 2, and 3 all today on over on Amazon. So we're going to discuss the first 3 episodes of this new season. So spoilers. So if you haven't seen them, hit pause on this video, go check out those videos, those episodes, and then come back and be part of the discussion. So yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be going through all of the season as it comes out for the next couple weeks. Yeah, I mean, after season 1, I think everyone fell in love with this show. Season 2 had some hiccups, and I think they're back on track with season 3. So, start with Brandman. What you think about the first 3 episodes?
Way to start the season out with a bang. Like they really hit the ground running. I loved it. I like the way that it set the tone for the rest of the season. I like where they're going with Mark, him just kind of advancing as Invincible. Not getting his ass just like rocked every episode.
He still got rocked.
I didn't say he didn't. He still did, but just not as often.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. I like how he's kind of graduated to mentor figure to Oliver, so that'll be interesting throughout the season. I just like where they're going with a lot of the characters and just the story as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the rest of the season, and I like how they balance a lot of the more kind of like crass kind of violence element with very good heart and story. So I like how it's balanced. One of my favorite things about the show, and just how they're the way they're progressing the character, Mark in particular, was what I really liked about the first 3 episodes. They had me glued to the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What you, Brian? What do you think about the start of the season?
Episode 1 was great. I mean, introducing Mark, saying how much more powerful, how strong, fast. He's increased in every single way. He's bench pressing like rocket ships and stuff like that. Like literally just doing all the stuff. They're spending so much money on him, and he's progressing, and he's focused on becoming a better superhero. And then seeing them going through something and him not being able to just destroy everyone, because he's not, it's once again, it's not, we see again, it's not that he's not more powerful, he's just not focused. So once he has a focus, he kills everyone, right? And then they bring up so many different questions. What's redemption? Should you give someone a chance at redemption? How does that arc work? Who do you trust? Is it more important to be a good guy or to save the world? So, like, I mean, they just brought up so many questions. Then you need the Oliver question, and how do you date, and then how do you deal with Eve? How does all this stuff work? How do you deal with 2 friends that are dating the same guy? Like, they did such a really good job with so many different things, and I gotta say this was a fun experience, and I'm almost upset now that we aren't getting more episodes, because 3 being gone, like usually I'm like, yeah, 3 great, this is great. I'm actually more upset because now I'm like, man, 3's down already. Crap.
And there's only, I think, 8 episodes this season, so we're almost already at the halfway point.
At the halfway mark, we'll be at the halfway mark next week.
Yeah, the second week, and we're already halfway over of the season. So, yeah. And before I get into some questions for you guys, my thoughts was I loved the first 3 episodes. I was glued to it. I'm super glad with everything they did. They even did little things that if you didn't notice, I believe it was in episode 2, I think, where they go and fight the dude underground, and he gets bitten. So he has this giant like stab wound, basically, right? He passes out from the poison.
Yeah, stab with the
tooth.
Yeah,
Yeah, or the
Was it 2?
pincer or whatever the
Yeah,
bug did him with, So
yeah.
it was a big hole, they made it clear.
And
But
it
throughout
slowly
the
got
episode,
smaller and
yeah.
smaller and
So by
smaller.
the time like he's going and fighting again, and really demolishing those clone robot things, like it was pretty much gone. It looked like it was a scratch at that point. So like they're doing a really good job showing that Mark has evolved as a Viltrumite,
Mhm.
to more of like his healing's fast is better. He's stronger, he's faster, like everything about him physically is just better than what he was 2 seasons ago. But and
When
then how they compare it to his brother though. That's the
Mhm.
thing too. It's like, and they keep mentioning, he goes, I was 17 when I got this. Well, the dude's
I
like
was
7,
yeah,
like yeah,
I think it's
so
10 or
yeah,
whatever.
like he's super young, like way too young for somebody to have, but a lot of this is like the mentorship and stuff like that. But they're finally getting into like the real meat and potato of what I think a lot of the story is of in the comic books, and it's a lot of is redemption, and I think is like, when is enough time served considered to be redeemed?
Mhm.
How many good deeds do you have to do to be considered like redeemed as a person? So you start getting into a lot of these things, and it plays in the comic book. It plays a lot, you know, for a lot of different characters and stuff like that. But I just love that like redemption thing. Like who's too far gone? When do you start trusting somebody again? Are you a hypocrite? Is Mark a
Mhm.
hypocrite? Like,
Mhm.
hey, you're cool with
You
your
did
dad?
King Engstrom, like,
Yeah,
you killed a
yeah,
person, your dad's killed millions of people, like,
yeah,
where is it? Where's the line?
exactly. Where's the line?
How's
And
Cecil and seeing Cecil's development, that was a
it
huge
was
thing
so good.
too.
That was so
Yeah,
good.
the
Yeah.
the flashback scenes were really, really good.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of
Uh-huh. And
fleshing him
obviously,
out.
I mean, you see the parallels that they're drawing between a young Cecil and Mark, like a current
Mark.
Mark, with
Mhm.
their, hard stance on he's a bad guy, they're the bad guys, we're the good guys kind of thing, So, you know, and
Even
there's
with
a
that,
lot of gray areas.
when you saw in episode 3 at the beginning, you see like the two people, the couple, trying to do right, and trying to rehabilitate, and then not being able to, and then Mark being absolute about it, like, look, no, this is it. And still taking it out on them, not realizing they're human, and they're going through situations, and they were homeless, and they're hungry, and they're all
Yeah.
these other things. There are other factors that kind of lead into this.
Hmm.
How they're treated by the rest of the world. The disenfranchised. How do you reconcile that? And
Yeah.
and I think that this brought really good questions.
Yeah. So I know, Cleve, you said you still got to watch episode 3. The beginning of episode 3 was so good, and the Brian just talked about it. It was so well done with seeing life for these two people, and living this double life as a couple, just that wants to be normal, but also, they're broke, and they have powers or abilities and stuff like that. So that begin with the music playing, with the plant, being like a symbol of everything. It's so I hope they do show those characters again, somehow, you know, because that was, the metaphor for them is obviously what this whole season I think is going to probably be about, you know.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that the beginning of episode 3 was really really well done. There was no dialogue. It was all just music, you know. Yeah, yeah, it was super, 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 super good, you know. But what you guys think about his new costume? His black and blue
About
I
costume.
thought it
time.
was awesome. Really liked it.
Mm, mm,
Almost like it more than the traditional light blue and yellow one. It was pretty cool to look at. So, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, really dug it.
yeah.
It remind me of the comic book stuff that you see usually with them, like
Like,
like
Like in the comics.
Yeah, in the
He
comics.
gets the costume change in the comics, and
Yeah,
I think he sticks with it for a while.
or at least it was a lot of issues. I'm going flipping through all the stuff and see him. He looks like that way, and I don't know. I thought they did well. Everything was done so well the last 3 episodes. I mean, just why is it going so fast? Slow down.
And it's the opposite of last season. Season 2 was like, hey, do something cool, this is like shit. We got 3 awesome episodes. Like,
why are you rushing, bro? Hold on, slow down.
Yeah, the only thing I can hope is like they have a season 4 like ready to go like by the end of the year. That'd be awesome. But we'll see. What you guys think about the Oliver's hero name, Kid Omni-Man? Because he has a very different view of his father than Mark. Very different view. So what do you guys think about him taking that name?
It suited him, considering his murderous tendencies at the beginning.
Yeah.
And kind of how he was seeing everything in black and white, until Mark and Deb kind of had the talk with him near the end. But yeah, I thought, obviously it's appropriately lame because it's a kid, the name, but it beyond surface level, it fit, just kind of considering his actions. I thought his actions and basically solving everything with violence, and just the philosophy he was slowly adopting. So we'll see how that pans out through the season, if he's going to stick with it or if he's really going to take what Mark and Deb are trying to teach him to heart.
What you Ryan? What you think about Kid Omni-Man?
I think it foreshadowed that he's not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to control him. He's going to have a hard time controlling them, and the only one's going to be able to do that will be the real Omni-Man. And then even the idea that when Omni-Man was, I think it's episode 2, that he said, "Can't believe this. I think I missed my wife." Shows that he's going to be there, and then that might be the only thing that kind of keeps Oliver in check.
Yeah, Oliver. But also, I thought it was interesting because like after he killed him and he said what he said, Mark's is like, "Oh, you're just like Dad," and he's not, because I think like Nathan, Omni-Man, he thought humans were like beneath him. They were there for them to kind of become like their slaves basically. Where Oliver sees it as, why should I see their life as special when they don't see their life as special? It's like, you're telling me life is something that is special and you should not take it away so easy, but yet he goes on the internet and you see a lot of it, and he even said, he goes, and they don't even have powers. It's just regular people killing regular people, and so it is a little different than Omni-Man, because Omni-Man's like, I have powers, I'm better than you, shut up and listen or die, where he's a little bit more.
But you don't see him developing that same idea that I'm better than you because you don't even appreciate yourself. So why should I say I'm still better than you because I appreciate me?
I don't think he's not there yet. He's not there yet.
Growing to it.
He could get into it, but right now he's more like, bad guys need to be stopped so they stop doing bad things, and it's very, very, like Brandman said, it's very very black and white, one dimensional, what a kid would kind of see, and it's up to like Mark and his mom to talk to him about it. But like you said, when he starts to realize, he's like, I could do whatever the hell I want, so if I want to stop a bad guy, I'm going to stop a bad guy. So but then it's also, again, what's right and wrong, you know what I mean, like, because that's the Batman thing, like, if Batman would just stop the bad guys, stop the Joker the first time, how many people would be alive if he killed one person? That's a real dilemma for, I don't want to say real, but it's a dilemma for these, like, for a superhero. It's like, you don't want to kill, but yet if you don't get rid of this person, how many people is he going to kill? The whole injustice is all that is Superman calling out Batman for not killing Joker, and then Batman becomes Omni-Man, or Superman becomes Omni-Man, basically, and just, I'm going to kill you because I'm going to help you stay alive.
I'm gonna save so many more people by doing this.
Exactly. Like, was the whole, got to break some eggs to make the omelet kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Oliver's gonna be a really cool character going forward. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, the Mark and Sam, Mark and what's her name? Yeah, Sam, right? Eve. Yeah. What do you guys think about them finally getting together?
It fits. I was starting to come around to Amber on season 2. She wasn't as much of as big a pain in the ass as she was in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you think they last? I would say that's a better question.
No.
Okay.
Off and on, of course.
It could be, yeah. Very seldom do superhero couples last. So
that's true.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And then, well, speaking of superhero couples, we have was it Kate, Multi-Kate, and Immortal, becoming a couple.
Mm-hmm. Engaged.
Yeah, they're going to get married, which is kind of crazy. Like Brandman said, this whole thing about balance. It's like there's all these heroes are doing hero stuff, but then you start getting some moral dilemmas and then personal life stuff. It's like you want to be married, you want to have a partner, you want to have somebody to spend your life with. But what about you, Brian? What you think about Mark and Eve?
I mean, it's the first step of many. They've known each other for a while, so the first iteration doesn't always work out. How often do you marry your high school sweetheart? Or if you do, it's usually later down the line where you're like, okay, now I'm older, I had a little bit more life experience, and you have a little bit more life experience, and we can work these things out. Because it's gonna be complicated because they also work together. So it's going to be complicated. Do you see the world the same way? Mark has to look at Oliver as more important. His mother is more important. He has his own demons with Omni-Man. So, like, there's a lot to unpack there. And Eve has a lot of problems with her own family. So you have to fix that before you can think that you're going to be able to find your forever. Yeah. So I just think that this is a first step. I don't think it's going to be the final step. I also don't think it's going to ever go back to a point where they can't reignite.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the last one I have for you guys is the big thing was the Guardians splitting up, and you have a lot of people, Rex, who has a great arc, going right now for Rex. But you have a lot of the people going with Rex and starting a new team, and you have a few people staying back with Immortal and staying as a Guardian. And it all revolves around what Cecil did to Mark by putting in the implant and trying to control him, which upset a lot of the members. That whole situation between the control thing and them splitting up. What you think about that? Is it a good idea to take all these heroes and split them up? Like, are they right for leaving? What you think, Brandman?
Yeah, it gave me Civil War vibes for sure.
Yep.
I could see why they leave. Especially with kind of with what happened with Cecil, but at the same time, it kind of seems like they're kind of not looking at it from both sides. They're looking at it more than rather on Mark's side rather than the other, and hearing them out. So I think that's something that could potentially come back to bite them in the butt. later this season. You know, it just seems like it kind of seemed like a juvenile decision.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
When you feel like the person you work for doesn't care for you, that's something that's going to happen naturally. Oh, you don't care about, you see me as a weapon, and you replace me as fast as you had me. And what does Cecil do? First thing he said, he tells Immortal, yeah, we'll start having trials next week. What? To replace them. So I mean, they're not wrong. And I mean, that's what makes a compelling storyline. A lot of times it's that everyone has good parts and bad parts on both sides. You know, and I think that's where they're going to go with a lot of stuff. I mean, and then it's going to be, if the Viltrumites are going to be there, you're going to have to fight with these people again.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah. It's just like the Civil War kind of stuff going on. Meanwhile, there's this looming like death threat, like literal death threat, that they're waiting for somebody stronger than Anissa to show up, and Anissa just slapped Mark around like he was a nobody. So, and she said somebody worse is coming. So, it's a lot of setting up for that, like obviously. But it's just like who has the moral high ground, like, because did you notice, like, besides Kate, like the two older guys, Immortal and Samson, they stuck around. They're like, you know what, it ain't that big of a deal. I get it. I get why he had to do it.
Samson's still more on like, it's good, bad, but where the hell am I going to go?
Yeah. Like Immortal was very up his own ass, like, get over it, it's life kind of shit. It reminded me of like boomer mentality. It's like when I was a kid, I had to walk 30 miles to go to school. It's like him. It's like I already got my head crushed by Omni-Man once already. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? So, but yeah, I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to leave. I can't blame them for wanting to leave. So is it a smart idea? I don't know. Are you safer with being under Cecil's control? And that's kind of like another dilemma.
Controlled.
But you're being controlled, but you're safer, but you're still being controlled. Now you're out on your own. Well, you have a lot more threats, because you don't have a safe. I mean, their base is safe, but it's not as important. You don't have a backup plan or backup crew, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up? But I just had those couple points.
No, it's always it's two sides to each story, and you don't know. You understand. Once again, we understand why Cecil's the way he is. We understand why Mark's the way he is. How's Mark going to be when Omni-Man comes back? Is he going to be still that same steadfast in his belief system? Like, what happens with Oliver if he crosses the line? How will Mark react to that? I mean, all this stuff is really up in the air. So you say I am rigid in one place, but if you're not rigid in all places, then you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I mean, and should you be rigid like that?
No, you probably shouldn't. And that's but that's maturity, right? That comes with maturity.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, Brian Man, or you got anything else? If not,
I can't wait for more.
Yeah,
I absolutely love these first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Slow down. I don't need them all right now. Come on.
I do.
Yeah. Well, now I think we're getting 5 more weeks. 5 more weeks of Invincible. So
on the upside, they seem to be cutting the waiting time between seasons lower and lower. So hopefully, after this season, it won't be as long.
Yeah,
just wait. So just wait.
What? Well, I don't. I gotta look and see how many seasons they signed on for. It was just are they signing on season by season, or did they sign a couple seasons ahead of time?
I know they're working on the next season, but I don't know if it's actually been
like greenlit.
Yeah.
So Yeah, because if you get that approval, that kind of like, hey, we want 2 more seasons, we want 3 more seasons, then you're able to like kind of work more consistently, and get it out at a steadier time. But yeah, but I think it was the same time last year we had season 2, but we had that stupid break in between for whatever reason. So, but yeah, I'm super excited. I love this show. The first season got me so hooked on the comics. I read everything.
It's 5
It's-
seasons officially.
Oh, is that what it's signed on for?
Yep,
Nice,
4 and 5.
nice. So yeah, so I can definitely see 4 and 5 coming out at the very least the beginning of next year for the next 2 years. Probably they'll probably do a yearly release. So yeah, that's good news. That's good news. But cool. Yeah, that's our thoughts for the beginning of Invincible episode 1, 2, and 3 of the new season 3. If you know what's coming, don't do any spoilers. Kind of let the people who watch the show be it. And they're obviously changing a few things. Some things are different. But we want to know what you guys think. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys think about Invincible season 3. If you want to come and be part of the discussion, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Come and join us every Thursday when we talk about the newest episode, because they come out on Thursdays, I believe. So nice and fresh in our minds. But yeah, we appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us, and we appreciate everyone in the live chat. And I want you guys to stick around because we're going to get into some of your comments right now.